I'm Kaeta, and this is Mackenzie and Sarah, and they are going to help me show you how to do a density tower tonight. So, do you guys know what density means?
Yes.
Can you tell me, Sarah?
It's how, think something is mass over something or
Mass over volume, right?
It was a V. I knew it was a V.
Yeah. And so, density is actually how much stuff, which particles, but we can think of all these different liquids have different stuff in them, and how much of that stuff is packed into one area. So if you can see, all of these jars have about the same amount of liquid in them, but these liquids have different densities. So when we layer them, we're hoping that they will end up staying separate, and we'll be able to see the level from most dense, which is going to be honey, to the least dense, which will be our rubbing alcohol. So first, we're going to try to pour this corn syrup as slowly as possible to the center of the jar, and we don't want any of the corn syrup to touch the edge of the jar. Can you see the layer, Mackenzie? Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. That's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I can see it. Okay. Then we will do milk. We'll go really slowly.
What?
You see it?
I wasn't expecting that one to work.
Yeah.
Except for the dish soap.
Okay. So far, so good. Then let's try the dish soap. I'm not sure if this one will work as well. Go really. I don't know if I see this one working.
I think it's going under the
Yeah, I
milk.
think it's going below the milk. Oh?
I don't know. It's on top.
Okay. I think that we might just not have enough soap to see it all the way,
Yeah.
but I see it at the top. Look!
That one is surprising.
So cool. This is my first try doing this too, so I'm just as surprised as they are.
Those shits at the top.
Awesome! Here, we should let it settle for a second, I think.
Yeah.
Yay!
Shocking.
Yeah, that surprises me that milk is more dense than the soap. So what does that mean? That the milk is more dense than the soap, Mackenzie?
Soap particles are more spaced out
Yeah.
than milk particles.
Exactly. Okay. So now, Mackenzie, would you help me put the water into this? So the water and the vegetable oil and the rubbing alcohol need to go in really slowly because we don't want the rest of the contents of the jar to get shaken up. So we hold the spoon upside down, and I'm going to really slowly spoon this water into it. If you have a turkey baster at home, that might be easier, but this is what we have. Okay. Just going to drip it. Do you see it?
Yeah, this layer is like the sensory bottles.
Yeah. Exactly. I see it on top. Here. Let's rotate around a little bit because I see it kind of puddling. Okay. I really can't believe that this is working. Okay. Slowly but surely. Okay, I'm just going to pour the rest right over the top. I think we're good.
Oh, it's shaking a little on the side.
Oh, you're right.
But I
It's
think
gonna
it'll
settle.
settle back.
Okay, so next we'll repeat the same process with the vegetable oil. Alright. Have you ever seen oil and water separate before, Mackenzie?
I have.
Where have you seen this happen before?
And the sensory bottle I made for my kids.
And where else? Have you ever seen this happen before, Sarah?
I have.
Where?
At That's cool.
I've seen it in salad dressing too.
Oh,
Have you ever noticed that when you look at a bottle of like vinegar-based salad dressing, that all the oil's at the top?
Mm-hmm.
So now we know that that means that the oil is less dense. So the stuff inside of the oil is less packed together. Okay, a little bit more. Oops. That's okay. I'll do one more spoonful so we can really see those layers. Okay, now our last layer is going to be our bright pink rubbing alcohol, which we will do in the same way. Okay. Let's see. Mix a little bit in this layer. Do you want to tilt the spoon to the other side so we can pour it on both? I can see it on the surface. I also put a lot of food coloring in this layer, so that might make it mix a little bit. But that's okay. These ones are really close in density anyway, so it's probably a little harder for them to stay separate.
You can still see the bubbles in the oil.
Yeah. Mackenzie has the best view right now. Okay. This is so cool. I'll do one more big spoonful of this. Awesome. That green looks kind of gross now.
Yeah, the milk's, I'm not a fan.
So as we can see, the layers that have different densities, starting from honey all the way up to rubbing alcohol, have different densities. And something's not going to sink below something that's more dense than it. So like the soap is not going to go beneath the corn syrup because the corn syrup is more dense than anything above it. And anything below the rubbing alcohol is more dense than it, so it's going to float above it. So the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to try to see what happens when we drop some different objects into this and to see if they'll sink down or if they'll stay around the same level of something that's as dense as them. So here, I'll start off. I have a little plastic bead. It might be kind of hard to see in it, but let's see if we can see where it goes. Oh, see that plastic bead is not very dense. There it goes. Let's see if we can see it stop.
Doesn't look like it's going down any
I
farther.
think it stopped. What was green?
Green was water.
That's weird that it stopped
Oh.
there.
No, I think now it stopped right above soap.
Oh, okay.
So I think that our plastic bead is just about the same density as a soap is. Do you want to drop a penny in? Let's see where the penny goes. Oh, see, the penny's pretty dense, so it just shook it up a little bit. If I had to guess, it's hard to see, but I bet that it's sitting somewhere near about where the corn syrup is.
Yeah.
I don't think it would
I
make
don't
it
think
past
it'd go
that.
past the honey.
No. Okay, let's try this little Cheerio. Oh, it is not very dense. It might get down below that level of rubbing alcohol,
Once
but
it
I don't.
gets wet.
Yeah, once it gets wet, I think it might just get soggy and sink down. Let's try. I have a paper clip. Oh,
Oh,
Let's
that
sink
went
down.
that went all the way down to the cornstarch.
yeah, but it's all the way down. Oh, it's sinking through the corn syrup now.
Wow.
It's about halfway through the corn syrup, so that probably means the paper clip is just about as dense as corn syrup. I have a raisin. This one will go in the back, or we can put it here. I don't want to shake up one part of it too much. Let's see. I think that
Going down to milk.
yeah, right down in the milk area. Probably stop there. So that makes sense because a raisin, since it's not as hard, I feel like there's some more space inside of it. And just for fun, I got some sequins. Let's see where the sequins will go. I'll sprinkle them around. They're not going really anywhere, are they?
You
Oh.
made it to the rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, some of them are going down in between the rubbing alcohol and the vegetable oil, it looks like. They're different types of sequins, so they probably have slightly different densities. And last but not least, I have this ping pong ball. So that's just floating right in the rubbing alcohol, right? So that's the least dense. Why do you think it's the least dense?
Because it's full of air.
Yeah, it's full of air, so it's the biggest thing, but it's probably the least dense just because it's full of air and there's not a whole lot of weight to it. So I'm hoping hope that you enjoyed watching us make our density tower. Thanks.